The day I picked up the jazz album was the day I realized you could make fun into a verb. Thanks, Raj. Fun it. Next on Crown Jewels. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to PLD Project's Crown Jewels. I am your host, PLD, and of course, this podcast is a journey we're taking together throughout the entirety of the Queen catalog, song by song, including solo projects, to determine which version of every song is the best version or Crown Jewel version, the one that's going to make it into our Crown Jewels playlist. And of course, I'll give you a little bit of notes, a little bit of quotes, and we see if the song of the week fits into my top 10 Queen-related songs of all time. And this week's a fun one, but it is one of those short ones, because we only have one version to listen to. That's right, we already know what the Crown Jewel version is. It's the album version. That's the only one that really exists. Fun It by Roger Taylor. All right, as I said, Fun It, written by Roger Taylor, does feature Freddie Mercury on co-lead vocals. Roger features on most of the lead vocals and backing vocals, drums, syndrums, and guitar. Brian May also plays guitar. Most likely, John plays bass. There is some question in the community whether John does play bass or perhaps Roger does. Roger does often play a lot of the instruments on his written tracks with the band. But I don't know, I've seen some sites say maybe John, maybe Roger. Now, it's most likely John, but I did want to present that out as a possible alternative. I'll leave it up to you to decide. Unless somebody knows, let me know. Now, many people lay Queen's experimenting with disco and the eventual much maligned Hot Space album at John Deacon's feet due to his R&B background, his Unbreading Another One Bites Dust. Well, this track kind of proves it's Roger's fault that the Queen went anywhere near disco in the first place. Ironically, Roger would not like having Another One Bites Dust as a single, thought it was Queen going too far away from rock and roll. Well, Roger, you kind of did it first. Now, one of the reasons we don't have any other alternative versions to listen to is the band never really played this live, although, I want to, truth be told, Freddie did sing a few lines for it here and there. Usually when he's playing Keep Yourself Alive during the intro of the guitar, he would kind of sing the everybody part, which you'll hear in a minute. He would sing one or two lines, but not enough to make an alternative version. It's like two lines over the top of the Keep Yourself Alive instrumental. So it's really only the main version. But just to be fair, just to be completist, I want to throw it out there that Freddie did sing a couple of lines live. Now, in the years to come, Roger would be quoted as saying he was not a fan of the album and also not a fan of this song or any of his songs on the album. In fact, he says, "My songs were very patchy. In fact, if you want my honest opinion, jazz never thrilled me. It was an ambitious album that didn't live up to its ambition." Well, I think he's a little overly harsh on himself, but we'll get to it and we'll see if you agree with Roger or maybe you agree with me. Another quote about the song, Brian to the Boston Globe in 1978 did say, "The closest to disco we'll ever get." Well, Brian, you're wrong, but that's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. Well, all right, it is time now. We're going to have you go listen to the track. How are you going to do that? You're going to pause me. In the show notes, you'll find a links document, or we'll have a YouTube link onto the studio version of the song. You listen to that studio version, the album version, and you come back, and we will talk about it. Well, there you have it. Unabashedly disco. It's a lot to say about the song. I do think Roger's overreacting a little. I mean, I'm not a huge disco fan, but the band does do it well. I mean, that's good to see. I like to see that the band can commit to a genre, even if it's not my favorite genre, and still sound authentically themselves in it. The synth drums are a bit much. In fact, Roger would start experimenting with synth drums, electronic drums, here and there throughout the 80s. I always thought was a step in the wrong direction from him. I don't know why he would go that route. I guess he just had, boys with toys kind of thing. It's not overtly bad here, but it's definitely noticeable, and I prefer to get away from it, although it does fit the genre, so maybe, I'm kind of talking out of my butt a little bit there. The guitar is nice, a nice little crunchy guitar riff that Brian does. He always tries to add a guitar rock sensibility to any of the songs they do. This does feature a nice vocal from Roger, very much lead vocal, rocking out, having fun, and having a good time. But then the Freddie bridge vocal is probably my favorite part of the song. He just has this nice little smooth smooth, almost like daring, cocky delivery, which I do like. It's great hearing Freddie and Roger when they go together, though, especially during those everybody gonna have a good time tonight. Those when they're singing together are really, really nice to hear. They have some great harmonies during the moving the body is right. It's a nice little sound they got going on there. Although I got to point out specifically about 2 minutes and 28 seconds into the song, that everybody gonna have a good time tonight. If you have your headphones on, you'll hear Freddie Mercury on the right eardrum and Roger higher on the left eardrum. And so really it makes up for a definitely different dichotomy, because it's not like that throughout the rest of the song. They're usually together on both sides. It's that band always trying to experiment with sonic sounds and what's going where, and they don't always try to repeat themselves. It's kind of cool. Brian's guitar at the end of the song, always really tasty also. Overall, it's not bad. Okay, the lyrics are pretty dreadful. I'm not going to lie. The lyrics are shoddy. Using fun it as a verb. Maybe that's a UK thing that I don't know about. Maybe, I don't know. But I did not love the lyrics. I did not love the song, but it is... I think it's better than Roger says it is, and it does accomplish what I think it sets out to accomplish. Although, you know what? If the songwriter doesn't think so, who am I to judge? But it's a song I don't skip, but it's just, at the end of the day, not my favorite song either. All right, here's where I would usually play the next version and listen to it. But like I said up top, there is no next version, so by default, this is my crown jewel, the album version. So what do we do next then? Instead, we skip that. We go right into our ratings. On a scale of 1 to 11, because we always turn things up to 11, what do I give Fun It? I'm going to put it right in the middle of the pack. Give it a 5.5. Not my favorite song in the world, but, you know, it's not god-awful. It's just basically not my cup of tea. I will say that when I listen to it, I get more out of it each time, and I do find things to enjoy. So it's definitely, you know, it's worth listening to. I'm probably not gonna ever put it on a best of Queen for sure, unless I do just the best of Roger written Queen. We'll talk about that one later, perhaps. All right, that does it for this week. Next week we are back with a Brian May track, "Leaving Home Ain't Easy." And guess what? It's another one without any alternate versions. The Jazz album seems to be one that does not have a lot of alternates, but that's okay. This is a beautiful song. We're going to talk about it. I will see you next week there. If you do like this, hit that like, hit that subscribe. If you want to help us further, patreon.com/PLD Projects. I really could use some assistance there. It really helps keep the lights on as I try to keep this whole YouTube thing going on. I have some great patrons such as Austin Cadell, Brandon Buckingham. We have a great Facebook chat. I'm going to try to do some more extra content there as I get a little more free time, right? But that's, you know, if you can't, I totally understand. But if you can share this, you know, get this out to the community, everybody, show your friends, show your Queen fan friends, and let me know what you think about this. Do you want to see more? Do you want to see less? I got some other series potentially planned, but I kind of want to get through this first. Well, that'll do it for this week. Like I said, I will see you next week for Leaving Home Ain't Easy. Until then, as always, fun it, everybody. Fun it.